So, um, this is my blog for today, and I just want to express something very out from my head, from my chest. You know, regarding about the political issue on this deferred action for childhood arrivals. It just makes no sense. It makes no justification why the people around Trump and Trump himself would allow this kind of crap to happen. And with now the Congress leaving it, with now being left for the Congress, I just hope that Congress would do its best to reform its immigration for DACA. Not just only for DACA, but including the undocumented parents with kids who are American citizens who need to have the right to stay with their families and be able to live their life in the great country that they want to be in with their families. And the real problem is that this is very true. I just saw this on the news that the politicians in New York are saying it's very obvious that yes, that they're not that Trump's immigration policies, they're not going after people or immigrants, illegals that are coming from neither sides, that are like they're not going after white immigrants. They're going after immigrants coming from Africa and Latin Spanish America. And what is the problem with it? Yes, he's declaring war on these people just for being immigrants coming from this country. And yes, they're going after people coming from different nationalities from each part of the continents and part of the world. And I really want to thank the sanctuary cities for protecting them and keeping them safe, for not getting deported just for being undocumented immigrants and paying all the taxes. And here's the big problem with the stupid people around this 45 around him. Yes, all these people are racist, and for some reason he just allowed himself just to be run by this racist, bigoted people, just so that he could be president and they could run and manipulate his agenda. And as a matter of fact, that yes, that this alternative white groups were working with Russia, and not to mention that yes, a lot of news has been popping out that they've been working with Russian intelligence. How? To give false informations to make Hillary look more evil than Trump. Not as a matter of fact that people were all behind Hillary, while a few were backing Trump. And it would be quite obvious that Trump would have lost if he didn't use foreign hostile government to manipulate last year's election. And one of the major problem here is that I hope for considerations when Trump gets out or ousted, is that the Congress and the Senate, both Democrats or Republicans, will do a lot to help fix this crap immigration. We can just bring back those undocumented immigrants to the country and help become American citizens and unite with their families and give them a second chance to relive and live in a country that they always love and they always want to be, especially for the children under the age of 12 who came illegally, as Obama did back in 2012. And these people really think that they're going to be long. Eventually, they're all going to be tried in the courts, which might go all the way to the World Court. You'll never know it. You just don't see it, but it's just right there. And the real big problem is that there are already families of immigrants already filing lawsuits against the Homeland Security, Immigration Customs Enforcement for all this bull crap, this nonsense, why we should be treating these immigrants with such no respect. And yep, this is like what happened when the Turks rounded up Armenians almost more than 100 years ago, and when the Germans started rounding up Jews. And now it has come to this point that it's now all the way hitting into the very center of liberty. You know, America was founded by immigrants. And not to mention the fact that the pilgrims who came to the land came illegally, even though that the country was wide open. It was never land. But they still came in illegally. And they came in as refugees, trying to escape persecution, trying to escape annihilation. And so I don't really belong to those radical ideologies, because you know that you get very close-minded, you get violent, and you get, even though I'm passionate, but I just don't go too far with it. I just blend in very moderately, but in a most respectful way. And you know, I saw a post on this Facebook about, should Americans be hiding undocumented immigrants from Trump as what the Germans did for the Jews from Hitler? To all those churches who have been protecting immigrants, for all the communities who have been protecting these immigrants from these hostiles, from these stupid orders, from being deported by Trump, and all the people out there who had kept safe with immigrants, or the churches out there who had kept immigrants safe from the immigration enforcement. I just want to really thank you all my gratitude. I want to thank you all my wishes. I want to thank you everything. I want to thank you everything that you've done. Very American, and I want to thank all of you for. This is a legacy of Oskar Schindler. This is a legacy of Raoul Wallenberg. What they did back then, of saving those Jews from ever being sent to those camps just because for who they are. And to all the millions out there who are speaking out about this issue, I just want to thank you for speaking it out. And even though I am speaking my part, and eventually these roundups and this genocide-like behaviors, it's going to end. You just don't know it yet, but it's going to end. Before you know it, it's gone already. And as one of the anti-Trump who was a victim of the Holocaust in Auschwitz said, history is never on their side, as how he accused Sheriff Arpaio of rounding up immigrants just for being immigrants. Well, in spite of Sheriff Arpaio's pardon by this crazy man, he's eventually going to be reconvicted. Eventually, he's going to be charged without parole, and he might just have to be life sentenced in prison. And as news been popping out, and all the stories have been popping out just the recent week, that's why I'm speaking out like this. So this is what I have to say about what's happening throughout the past year, since January, and from the past 200 days of this crazy guy. Well, I hope you get this message. And it's just not, it's not fair though. But time will come.